Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm going to be doing a little series here in one video. I will try to keep it as quick as possible. What we're going to do is we are going to integrate 3 different systems into the flexible combat system for advanced traversal. We're going to add in a hookshot, a paraglider, and then a wall run. So, if any of that is something that interests you, stay tuned. There will be a donation link in the bottom if anybody is interested, and if you find this useful, please like and subscribe. So we'll get going on it right now for you. Get this one out of the way. So the 3 things that we are going to integrate are going to be dynamic wall running by Hammerhead. We are also going to add in advanced paragliding system and widget guided grapple points. So I already migrated everything over here, so we didn't have to hang out and watch that. So we got the dynamic wall run, paragliding system, and widget guided grapple points. So the first thing that we are going to want to do is open up our BP player character. And then we are also going to want to open up the widget guided grapple points. And we want to go to the demo folder, third person assets, blueprints, and either one of these will work. I've been going with the version 2 third person character. Where did they go to? Oops. Okay. So we're going to grab the jump function and we're going to move it over here out of the way so that we are not hindering anything. I'm sorry, I got something in my throat tonight apparently. And then we're going to go to here and we're going to grab the on landed event and the use rope event. You can also grab the stop grapple movement, but we're not technically going to use this. We're just going to use this section right here. So grab all of this, copy it, and paste it in here. We're also going to want to add the grapple hook points component, which should get rid of our errors there. Okay, perfect. And pull this out because we're going to add quite a bit of logic. Well, not quite a bit, but some logic in here. So we are going to need this section from here. Drop this in here. Hook it up to there. And then it does have an IA use rope, but it's not in the IMC part of FCS, so we need to go into the inputs, and movement actions is where I've been adding in everything. And I've changed up my inputs, so you can put these as whatever you want, but we need to get the use rope, and then I use R, and then I also use the left shoulder button of the controller. And we'll save that. We're going to leave that open for now because we're going to add more in there. And then to get it to work, we need to delete that and then reinstall that. And then it goes off of the started. And just to test, because that should be everything that we need for that to work. Change this demo level to FCS game mode, and let's test. So that works there. We'll just, yep. And that is it, really, for the grapple hook. So that is it for the grappling hook. So the next one that we will add is going to be the glider. So what we're going to do is we're also going to open up the paragliding, this one right here, and for some reason when you try to add it in up here, it will not bring up the paragliding component. But you can just take it, drag it, adds it right in, right there. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to make an input event for gliding. So we'll go in here, right click, input, input action, IA underscore glide, and then save. And then back in the movement actions, add another mapping, glide, and I use G and right shoulder button on a controller. So save that, and then we're going to IA underscore glide. And so what we want is you want to be able to transition from glide to using the rope event without any issues going on there. So the way to do that is we're going to grab a branch. We're going to get the grapple component. We're going to do a is valid check and hook it there, and off as started, go there. Then we can go into the Paraglider blueprint, nope, demo, blueprints, demo character. And pretty much what we want is this section right here. And we're going to copy and paste that. And hold on, we don't need that one. Break this link for a second. Let's make this a little bit nicer. So if this is valid, we want to pull off of it and stop grapple movement. And then into here. If we're not using it, we still want to be able to glide. So we'll hook that in there. Don't forget you got to update this part because it's named different. And also one thing that we want to do is if we're doing this, combat will not work afterwards. So we need to fix that. So you grab your input buffer component and just clear buffer and add that in. Also, we're going to need to go into the paragliding component and set the BP to glider. Go back to your demo character for the gliding. Go to the mesh, open up the demo skeleton, copy the paragliding socket, open up your flexible combat system mesh skeleton, and paste in the paragliding socket. And any socket that you copy from another one, you can literally just click on the root, Control V, and it will paste in the socket. I don't need two of them, so we'll save. Now we need to set up the animations, because if we come in here like this, current camera location, and we play and glide, give it a second here, and it's gonna get all dumb on me. If we glide, now we're running in air, but we are technically gliding, which doesn't work. So what we can do is we go to the BP demo character, and we go to its animation blueprint, and we also go to our player character and its animation blueprint. And we want to go to the event graph. Now we need to, oops, wrong file. Event graph. We need this section right here, but we also need this section. So if we copy this node, and this node, copy it, go in here, and off of event blueprint, see, and it doesn't work on that one. So we should be able to, no, it's still not going to do it either. Okay, so let's see, store character info, nope, that's not it, set up event dispatchers. If we go into this fun here, copy this one and get Paraglider system, I believe that's what it was, yep. And we pull off of here and promote to a variable, Paraglider system. I did this another way, but it's not the most correct way. I'm trying to give you guys the best that I can here. So then we're going to copy this section here, go back to our event graph and our animation BP, and come over here and paste it right there. And then we want to do a sequence node, hook it in here, that wasn't right either, give me just a second. Let me look at my notes here. Get your character movement component and plug it into the isFalling. Right click and create the variable isFalling. We want to get our paragliding system, get right click, convert to a validated get, hook it up in here, delete this one, create variable is gliding, and create variable angle. Compile, make sure we don't have any errors. Back into this one, animation graph, and really all you need from here is this section right there. So Control C to copy, go to our animation graph, pull this out, and Control V here into our true pose and into the out pose. Compile, save, and let's test it. And there we go. Now you're gliding. And we can disable, and if we, oh, I forgot something. What did I forget? Oh, yep, okay. Back in here into the use rope one, we did the check for the grapple points to cancel grapple points, but we didn't do the check to cancel the glider if we triggered it. So get this and do a is valid question mark one. And if it is valid, we want to disable the paragliding system. And then in there, and then if it's not valid, because we're not using it, we want that there. Okay. Now I shouldn't look like such an idiot. Compile. Come on. And we will play. We'll straight to the root, and then straight into the gliding. Back into gliding. Back into gliding. So there is those two, all nice and playing good with each other. I saved the easiest one for last, I promise. So let's do this and this, and then, wait, nope, not that one. There we go. Over here, right click, close all tabs to the right. So back in our player character, we want to add dynamic wall running component. And we also want to add in the dynamic wall run BPI. Over here in the My Blueprint details, go down to interfaces, dynamic wall run component, dynamic wall run component, plug it in here, compile. Back into our inputs, we want to go to our jump function. And what we want to do is dynamic, and there is a macro here, I gotta find it. Nope, okay, let's see, wall run, there we go. Wall jump if appropriate. Plug that in there, and compile. And then we need to go back into our ABP. And let me just check one thing really quick. Yep, okay. Content drawer, dynamic wall run, animations, right click, and retarget animations. And we want to go with SKM Manny. Make sure that it's the flexible combat system one. Click on that. Export. I like to put all my new retargeted stuff in the flexible combat system folder. And we'll export that, and we'll give that a second to do its thing. Then what we want to do is we want to get a, things auto-saving, linked anim graph, add that in, and then we want dynamic wall run, and it's going to give you an in pose and then the out pose. Take this, plug it in there, plug it in there, and that is pretty much it. And I said that was the easiest one that there is. I'll just show you it all working. Load up that demo map for the wall run. Probably the easiest asset that I've integrated into flexible combat system by far. Watch me test and it proves me wrong now. I have my jump button on a different key. But now we can do this. All the way through. And you'll see how the arm is kind of blending in to it. It's a really easy fix. What errors did I get? Oh, so if you go into a level that does not have a grapple points component into it or the rope blueprint in it, it will give you these errors. It's nothing to worry about. You just add in a widget point and the rope, and it will go away. Because if the rope blueprint is not in the level, it doesn't work. So we'll come back here to the start, and to fix the arm clipping into the wall, we want to go down here to this in the character offset, and I had to crank it up quite a ways to counter the FCS's IK and everything. So I did it as 12 before. But that's a little better. Nope, we fall. Try to save ourselves, which doesn't matter at the moment. Here, I'll show you that that's all that error is. If we go in here to the content drawer, blueprints, grapple point, and also a rope, that will stop happening. Let's bump this up to 14 just to see if that makes it better from fingers clipping. Yeah, that's just something that everybody's going to have to play around with on their own. The more you crank that up, the better that will get, which that's not too bad. Okay, so if you don't want stamina integrated into the gliding, you don't need to stick around. But if you do, then hang out and I will show you how to do that really quick. This took me a minute to figure out, but once I got it, then it was not too bad. So we go into the init function of the AC Paraglider, get component, oops, I can't spell today, component by class, and we want to get the equipment component from FCS, promote to a variable, equipment component. Right there, compile and save. And then when we enable the paraglider, we want to get equipment by component and damage I got the wrong one. Resource. I did. Oh man. Look at me being an idiot over here. I thought it was in that one. Maybe it's the resource component. Don't mind me, guys. I'm sorry. Get component by class. Resource component. Just make sure. Yep. Okay. That was the one. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. So get our resource component. Let's get rid of this one so that we don't. And damage resource. Was it this one? Right there. Slide all this over. Hook this in here. And then you can set this to whatever, but if you want it to be a constant reduction while you're gliding, then you need to check this. And we'll just do something like 10 stamina per second. Then we need to go back into, or then we need to go to the disabled, and on here we can grab the resource component and stop, no, and what was the function name? Give me just a second, guys. I'm sorry. I don't remember what the function was called. Oh wait, oh, clear stamina drain. And that should take care of that. So let's go back to this example level. And let's shoot ourselves way up here in the sky. Hit play. And as you can see, stamina is going down fairly good. And if I stop gliding, it should start going back up. Now you can set in some extra parameters for like, apparently we want to not hold the sprint button while we don't want to have the sprint button held down while we are gliding. So probably can now we're working together on this one. So movement component, edit, we need to find the sprint conditions. I'll do an updated video on the sprint part so that we cannot okay, so it should be right here. So setup, initialize, it's pop that over, do this, paraglider system, go to a variable, glider, pile, sprint conditions, get glider, gliding. We need to add a bool in here. No, I wonder if is active will work. If true, we'll just hook it into this, and if false, it'll just go in there. Yeah, okay, that's it. Make sure we can still sprint. Yep, okay, that's it, guys. That is how you add in the stamina system and everything. Oh, I guess we also need to do a check on that part. I'll do another one on the ending glide if stamina is less than 0. It shouldn't be that hard. We'll do it real quick. Let's go up here to your begin play, because this will be the easiest place to tie into it. And let's do a timer by event every 0.5 and create event, disable glider, and get our equipment component, get stam in, get stamina if less than or equal to 0, branch, if true, I want to toggle paraglider system. No, that's not going to be, yeah, no we can, yeah, no. Let's see. Let's get the movement component is falling. Branch, check in here. I don't remember how I did this before, but I didn't make a note. Okay, I'm going to make another video on that. Because this will just disable it, and it'll be constant. It might not be. Let's just test it out. I didn't set it to looping. I'm sorry you guys have to do this with me. I should have been more prepared on this one. I was prepared all the way up until this point. But this should... Yep. Okay, that did not work. Maybe if we do toggle. Maybe if we toggle it, because then if we are, and then if we do an is valid here, then we should be fine. What we're going to do is make sure if we get down to below, yeah, see, that's what I thought. Okay. So this actually should all work. But we're going to move it to here. Because then it's only going to go through this function. That doesn't need to have that check now. If we are gliding. I don't need that either, but let's see. This should be it. This one got a little carried away and long on me, guys. I apologize. Okay, that was not it. Okay. Man, I feel like I'm just dragging you guys along and making an idiot right now. Because that shouldn't... Ooh, let's see. This might... That might do it. I might need to bump the stamina drain up a little bit more just to... Yep, that was it right there. Okay. I'm sorry that took us a minute, guys, but let's just make sure that it's not gonna toggle anything here. We don't want to be running around the ground and it opens up our... Nope, that was it. Alright. I'm sorry for the long little spiel there, guys, at the end. But now you can have gliding with stamina that just deactivates your glider correctly without having any issues with it with sprinting or when it disables when you run out of stamina. So if you guys enjoyed everything here, even with my long rambling, I appreciate it. Again, there is a donation link that will be attached and pinned in the top comment. If you enjoyed this or found this useful, please like and subscribe. Thank you, and have a great day, and I'll see you next time.